Now time for FAQs. So let me finish this FAQ part. There are a lot of questions, lot of answers are there. Then I will check your questions and answers. Okay. So let's quickly browse that FAQ part. Can I share a common inventory? Please give your attention on this, all the questions and answers. I will ask Kritika to share all these FAQs in a PDF format to all of you, so that you can have a ready reckoner of all these FAQs, right? So can I share so you don't have to write and you don't have to take the screenshots and everything. So that session is recorded now and it can be shared to you, or I will tell Kritika to send this FAQ in PDFs. So can I share a common inventory to online or offline channel? Yes, you can. You may have to decrease the POS sync time and inventory sync time as low as possible to give near real-time impact of inventory to MS. See, if you are talking about a common inventory, then the same inventory is used by your offline channel as well as your online channel. So you need to reduce the delay of your sync, decrease your sync time, so that it can give a near real time. Even 10-15 minutes is very much possible. So what inventory data we are sharing with OMS? So Ginesys track any changes in inventory, be it in warehouse or in POS. Based on changed product, Ginesys shared the absolute inventory at that point of time on hand stock to OMS. Ginesys will not share the plus minus feeds, only aggregated inventory is shared, but the changed product only in incremental basis. So suppose you have 10 products and 2 products moved between store, or in any changes happen for 2 products, then we are going to share only 2 product stock, and the stock will be the absolute number, that is on hand stock at that point of time. I don't want to show all products in online channel, right? Most of you ask that. No issue. You can specify filters from your product attributes to restrict any product. So we have a filter concept ready. So we can apply that filter. And it is part of the standard integration kit. You can easily do that, right? So we have a Ginesys data services layer where you can easily specify all these filters. How can I reserve the stock in online or in store for online orders? This is the most common questions that I got from most of the retailers. Now my question to them is, why reservation is necessary? Let me ask you something. Suppose you have 1 piece stock left for a product and you've got an online order for that product, and also one working customer picked that item in store. So which customer you will satisfy first? Obviously, you will satisfy the working customer, not the online one. So reservation is, you can easily manage this reservation through a simple SOP, right? What is with the SOP? Whenever an online order comes to you for a confirmation, you just go to the rack, pick the product. Anyway, you are doing that right now. So I am telling you that do the same process again and again. So you go to the rack, pick the product, see whether it is sellable or not, sellable condition or not, and keep it aside so that working customer cannot pick that. There are multiple ways of doing. You can easily create some buffer stock if you have multiple stock availability for single product. Then you can keep some buffer stock to avoid any order cancellation in the OMS panel itself, right? So there are multiple ways where you can avoid the stock reservation aspect. So typically stock reservation is a very, very complex technological concept. So to avoid that thing, what you are doing right now, we are suggesting that only. So in that aspect, stock reservation, there are almost around 30 installations, 30 companies who are now with Ginesys in online space. Initially, they want this reservation facility in Ginesys, but once we discuss about the thing and once they are good to go with the SOP, they create an SOP, then it's absolutely not necessary. And so it is a good to have, not a must-have thing. How can I fulfill online orders from my own warehouse? You have to use OMS panel for fulfillment. Once invoice raised in OMS, it will be posted to Ginesys immediately to reflect stock and finance appropriate. You can also specify a particular stock point for online fulfillment while posting invoices by OMS. They will share that particular stock point. Say, for example, if you might have a stock point inside a site, inside a warehouse site, for your online stock, as an online stock, dedicated stock, or you can say that, okay, all the stock point stock of that site, you need to share it to your OMS or website. So you can apply any type of filters in our GDS platform. The GDS means Ginesys Data Services Platform. How can I manage channel accounts? For each channel accounts, you have to create a MOP control ledger in Ginesys and to specify a common channel code in the master definition, and that to be shared with OMS. So what you have to do, you have to create a MOP control ledger. So there is an option to create an MOP control ledger in Ginesys. And there you have to specify a common channel code. That channel code you can specify. Say, for example, if you want to create a e-com CC Avenue channel, right? So now I want, if I want to segregate my website orders based on prepaid CC Avenue orders and COD orders, then I need to create two different MOP control ledger. One for CC Avenue, second one is for COD, because COD payments I'll get that from the 3PL channels, right? Logistic partners. So I can create two different MOP control ledger. I can assign two different channel code, and I have to share that channel code to the OMS partner. Now what will happen, whenever they push the invoice, they will push the respective invoice relative with the channel codes. They will push respective channel codes to Ginesys. Based on that, we will match their channel code. We will pull that, take that MOP control ledger and post it account. How payment to be collected at store for click and collect COD orders? So now click and collect COD orders means customer will come to your store at the time of delivery, they will pay, right? It's not that common, but yes, you can do that as well, but in a different way. No integration exists with OMS, so Ginesys doesn't have any integration right now. But through a deposit slip concept, you can take payments in POS with relevant order numbers, right? So there is an option called deposit slip. You know that. So most of you know that. So you can easily create that. You take the deposit so that your POS cash drawer is also tallied and maintained, and also you can take the deposit from the particular customers for any online orders. How payment to be collected for endless aisle orders placed through tablet from store? Now there is some of our customer want that if you have an endless aisle facility or save the sale. So suppose you hand over a tablet to your customer, and customer place orders from that website inside your offline store, right? So customer is now standing in your shop, giving an order, placing an order in your website, but don't want to pay online. They want to pay in cash, right? In same way, you have to take a deposit slip payment, and you can put that order number in the deposit slip, and you can put the delivery slip number also in the online order panel. So in both the way, you can easily link afterwards, but integration is right now not present because of this kind of features is not that much common. You can easily avoid this kind of thing. You can easily say that for your endless aisle orders, you have to pay through your credit card or debit card or something like that. We don't allow cash. And also you can easily avoid click and collect orders, COD orders, right? So right now, if you don't allow these two things, then your entire reconciliation and process will be much more easier. But even if you allow this to your customer to give additional benefit to your customer, then you can easily do that through a deposit slip chart. If my online channel is restricted to my website only, then how can I process those orders in Ginesys? Do I require an aggregator OMS solution separately? We already talked about this, right? No aggregator OMS is required. Not required. Ginesys can integrate standard OMS kit with your website portal. Aggregator is not required. What should be my store operating process for fulfilling online orders? Online orders can be fulfilled from store through OMS panel only. So I already discussed about this. For online orders, you have to fulfill it from OMS panel. For any offline invoice, you have to create it from Ginesys POS, right? So store manager has a clear segregation of operations. For my own fulfillment for online orders, can I use Ginesys WMS to manage my own warehouse? It's a very common question. Whoever is using Ginesys WMS solutions and also in the online channel, online sales, so they ask this question. So our answer is no, you cannot, because now WMS is linked with SND, sales and distribution orders process only. We are about to develop a retail order facility in Ginesys, which will also be linked with WMS. So after that, Ginesys WMS can be used for online orders fulfillment. So you have to wait till these solutions come into reality in Ginesys. So right now, you don't use Ginesys WMS. You can use other third-party WMS solutions for your online fulfillments. But yes, after this development, you can do that. I have a unique barcoding for all of my product. How can I manage online inventory and fulfillment? No problem. But for unique barcoding, you need to implement article concept in Ginesys. For all the unique barcodes under a same SKU, you have to create SKU article for all those unique barcodes in Ginesys. And Ginesys captures incremental events for article stock change also. So based on that, we can share article-wise inventory to OMS. So your article inventory will be sent to OMS, but once they capture the invoice, they will send us the actual barcodes. So OMS to capture actual barcodes to post invoice in Ginesys. So we will share stock based on article, but they will provide invoice for barcodes. So in this way, we can easily integrate. We already integrate this concept in two of our esteemed clients. So it is already in place. So the solution is already in place. How return will be processed for online orders? Like sales invoice, return invoice can also be generated from OMS, and OMS push that return invoice to Ginesys as well through same process. Only difference is on sales invoice, stock gets reduced, and for stock return, stock increased. So it is already, I show the flow chart, right? How can I set rules to determine proximity-based order fulfillment to reduce my logistic cost? You can use that through an OMS panel. So it nothing to do with Ginesys right now. You can do it through OMS panel. How can I reconcile commissions and fees charged by marketplace? Ginesys cannot do that. Obviously, you should talk to your OMS partners for this. Can I get a customer-wise consolidated purchase history across all my B2C channels, online and offline, without having a CRM solution implemented? Many of you might not have any CRM solution implemented, but you need a customer-wise purchase analysis. Yes, you can get that. So in Ginesys, we maintain a centralized customer repository for both online and offline. You can get a customer purchase history consolidated way. You can get. Who is going to take care of my social media content and marketing? OMS platform can take that, but it is up to you. You can outsource that to other vendors as well. How can process the refund for online online orders? Mostly refund process initiated by OMS to the same payment mode. If payment done through cards, either debit or credit, But if payment collected in cash, then that was credited to brand's wallet, or coupon of same value can be issued through CRM. So for cash refund, for online orders, these are the two best common way you can say you can credit it to the value to your brand wallet, and all and it can be redeemed in the next purchase, or you can give a coupon to through a CRM solution, right? How can I avoid cancellation of marketplace orders to avoid penalty or SLA breach? You need to be very good in these four things. You have an efficient order delivery tracking, by quick identification of goods, by quickly locate the ordered goods in the warehouse or store, and by efficient handling of online inventory. These are the four most common things you need to be in the place to avoid this SLA breach. How to promote my store staff for quick fulfillment of online orders, right? You need to incentivize your store person on online fulfillment tasks. Otherwise, they will not entertain these online orders, and they will keep on uh, uh, they, uh, they will not confirm the order in the right time. They will not check the orders in the right time, right? They need to frequently check the orders. They need to frequently check their SMS in WhatsApp and all for any fulfillment requirement, right? So you should incentivize them. So ready information is available in POS reports, right? I want to allow only few of my stores for online fulfillment. How can I restrict? You can apply filters, not an issue. We can stagger the implementation of your online stores or omni operations, not an issue at all. How tax is managed for online invoice? Ginesys calculate tax for each invoice separately based on tax definition available in Ginesys. This will help retailer to avoid any extra tax burden due to marketplace errors. We experience a lot of cases in different marketplaces, including Amazon's and all big players, that they wrongly calculate the tax. For instead of 18%, instead of 12%, they charge 18% GST. Instead of 5%, they charge 12% GST, like that. But we always calculate all the invoices. Whatever invoices OMS push to Ginesys, we calculate calculate tax based on the definition available in Ginesys only. So this will definitely avoid your. So ultimately, you are going to pay the tax, not the marketplace, right? So you need to calculate as per your definition, and you should be very confident about what tax you are going to pay. This is one of the most common questions that I came across. How additional charges like gift wrap, delivery charge, etc. will be captured and synced with Ginesys? You can do it in a two different way, right? Ginesys will take the net value of invoice to post in Ginesys. You can say, okay, I don't require to post it in different ledger. Everything should be included, like your MRP, right? So now your retail price is all inclusive of taxes. So similarly, we can say that the net value that OMS will push to Ginesys, it will be net of all the charges, and we will post it to Ginesys. So what will happen if I say, for example, Amazon orders, Amazon invoice, when Ginesys got an Amazon invoice, Amazon accounts get created, and the balance, the outstanding will be created on the name of Amazon, right? And it has to have the net value of it. Now, this net value, Amazon will reimburse. Amazon will pay that net value, cutting all the commissions and all. Then you can easily manage that thing. But if you want to post shipping charges separately in different ledger, that is also possible. How? To enable this, you have to little bit, the way out is little bit tricky, but it's very straightforward. First, you have to create a non-inventory item called freight in Ginesys, and with some dummy barcode number, and share that barcode identifier with OMS partner. You can assign a ledger to that item as well. OMS will send the charges as a line item in the invoice. Say, for example, if the invoice has 2 product line, then for shipping charge, they will create another third line will be created by the OMS and push to Ginesys. with the same barcode identifier, and also excluding the charges from net value of item in invoice. So if, for example, if a sale price is 100 for a product and 10 is charged for the tax, shipping charge, and the net value is 110 rupees previously. Now, if they if retailers want to post the charge in separate ledger, then the invoice will have two items. One for the product, value will be 100 rupees. Second item will be the freight item with that predefined barcode identifier with 10 rupees as a value. Overall total net value will be 110. So in this way, you can easily segregate the ledger posting in Ginesys, or also you can post it in a consolidated way like before, right? And how the GST will be calculated in this freight? So there is a two way of calculating freight, GST in freight line item. One is based on the GST tax rate available in Ginesys tax definition. So whatever, if you have 18% GST or 12%, whatever you defined in your HSN master, you have to create, you have to give a SSC number in that item. Based on that, tax will be picked. Or you can opt for a highest tax rate item in that invoice. So if an invoice has 3 products and one product has 18% GST and 2 other products are in 5% or 6%, that 12%, then freight will have 18% GST. So you can take either of one options. You can calculate as per the highest tax rate item, or you can calculate the freight as per the GST tax definition, right? In both the way, you can calculate. So this is how we can handle the delivery charges. How data sync will work from Ginesys to OMS system? All data from Ginesys will flow from HO server only. For each notifier service like item inventory, you can specify different frequency of data sync. It is not real time. So let me tell you, it is not real time. You have to set the frequency differently for item and inventory. It can be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 15 minutes, twice a day, once a day. It's up to you. How multiple POS and warehouse will be mapped with OMS. Multiple site can be mapped with OMS with site code as a common code between both the system. OMS will capture the Ginesys site code in their system. So OMS easily can store that Ginesys site code and send the information based on that. Will there be separate numbering scheme required to capture the online bills? OMS to generate tax invoice in separate series other than Ginesys series, and has to be unique. Ginesys will post the same OMS invoice number as retail invoice number for easy recognition. So Ginesys will not generate separate invoice number. We are going to keep the same invoice number generated by the OMS player, right? So we are not generating that. How billing and shipping details of a customer will be captured? So customer information will be captured in OMS order booking system. OMS will share that information with invoice data to Ginesys. Ginesys will maintain a single customer records. Very easy. I am using Ginesys gift voucher. Can customer redeem it in my web store? At present, no, but we are working on it. Similarly, in credit note. So if a customer has a POS credit note, can they redeem in web store? No, at present, no. We are working on it so that these two can be redeemed through your web store also. Then some more touch point we will integrate. Now it is 3 touch point, then there will be 5 touch point. Can I use, and it obviously then that will be included in the standard integration kit as well. Can I use Ginesys promotion for my web store? No, because Ginesys promotion structure is very complex and different than OMS structure. So it is recommended to use OMS promotion manager instead. So all OMS has some kind of offer management system. In that you can easily create different promotions for your web store or your marketplaces. So in this way, Ginesys is going to help you in all these things. So finally, I'm open for Q&A. So let's check. And then starting my video session right now. So let's see what are the questions. So I got a lot of questions. So let's see what are those.
Thank you, Shomadeep sir, for giving such an enlightening PPT for all of us. And I think it was helpful for everyone. I would request Mr. Rohit also to join us in our FAQ, in our Q&A session. Though we have a lot of questions, I have segregated some which are important, and I think many have those questions. So they want to understand what is the difference between an in-store and a portal. So Mr. Rohit, if you are there, so we can start with the first question. Since we are running out of time, it can be a quick Q&A section.
So can I answer that question? So basically,
please go ahead.
See, you have, so first in the web store component part, I show you that the website has to be responsive. So responsive and device agnostic. It means you can open your website in any of your devices, right? It can be opened in your desktop, laptop, or in your tablet as well. So you can you can open that in a tablet, and for your in-store endless aisle or save the cell concept as well, save the cell channel as well. You can open that your website portal in your tablet, or you can create an in-store app in a different way. App means a native app of Android or iOS apps I'm talking about. So these two are two different technology, but our recommendation would be don't go for in-store app. It will cost you more. Just develop one standard responsive website and open it in your tablet as well as desktop.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shomadeep. The second question that we have is, how can we manage the marketplaces if we do not go for an aggregator OMS solution?
Marketplace right now, without aggregator, we are not supporting right now, because aggregator has, so marketplace. So there's say for example, we are in close discussion with Amazon right now. So they don't have a seller side fulfillment portal right now. They are not having that portal where you can fulfill from store. You can fulfill from your one single users from your warehouse, but if you want to fulfill your online orders from your store, Amazon doesn't have that utility. Doesn't have that tool. Maybe they will come with that tool in the end of this year, but right now it is not present. How you will fulfill it from your store? It's not possible. I don't know about other players. So right now, for fulfilling your marketplace orders, we always recommend to go for an aggregator.
Thank you, Mr. Shomadeep. That was quite helpful. I can see many questions coming in for managing their products on website as well as on marketplaces. So the question is that can we have specific products for OMS and our web store? And can we keep a margin of that stock also? So for example, I have 100 pieces. Can I reserve 5 pieces for in-store and then show 95 pieces on my marketplace or on my web store? Is that possible?
See, if you have only one channel like website or web store, you can say, then you can easily segregate your stock in any of the location, and you can specify that product and get that stock to share your stock that to your website. But if you are having a common stock, then that kind of management to be done from the aggregator OMS. They provide all these things. You can select, you can specify different prices for different channels. You can specify different stock allocation based on a fixed number or a percentage based allocation for different channels. They have these kind of things available in readily available in OMS, aggregator OMS I'm talking.
Great. Thank you so much. There are some other questions, common questions. So, Mr. Rohit, would you like to answer some of the questions that are coming in on our Q&A section, because we are surely running out of time. Just a review.
Yeah, I think for a few we can type in the answers. I'm trying to type in the answers like In case we have an OMS for the marketplace but don't want to use the OMS for our own website, then how does the inventory sync happen at both ends? Yes, it is possible. You can do both with OMS for the marketplace and without OMS for the website. It will happen through your Genesys data sync only. So whatever integration kit we have given, that will work for both. For the web store, we have to do a direct integration. For your own website, we will have to do a direct integration, but it is possible. We will have to do an allocation in advance, like which is the inventory you're sharing over there. Like if there's a common pool of inventory, or maybe you're aggregating some stores for marketplace, some stores for web store fulfillment. Because if there is a common pool of inventory, then the question arises who to give that piece of sale, or who to give the priority in terms of sale. So we are not defining the priority, that has to be defined by you. Yes, when the product is returned by the customer and the payment is prepaid, will the payment be refunded automatically, or it would be done by us? It has to be done by you, and the financial posting also has to be made by you. So there is a separate process for that, which is the returns management. So you have to go through the OMS, put in a return order. First the return will be recorded in the web store or in the marketplace. It will come in the OMS. That information will come as a, whenever you do the return pickup, then we will get the return invoice, which we will post into the system. So yeah, go ahead.
So we are having some questions regarding the product catalog. So if you can give us the overview of how the product catalog can be managed, that would be helpful, I think, for many questions.
So let me give this answer. So see, the catalog that you are creating for your online channel is very much different than the product attribute that you are creating in Genesys. Because Genesys product master is your internal, for your internal staffs, but for catalog or product attributes that we create for online channel is for the customer, right? So their descriptions, their entire attribute mechanism, and the product images, everything should be as far is very user friendly and very useful for, it has to be useful for your customer to understand your product, right? So now for catalog management, if you are working with only OMS or marketplace, see, no marketplace right now giving you an integration for your catalog management. You have to log each and every marketplace separately to create your catalog, right? So no channel, no marketplace right now give this solution. So you have to create it manually. But if you have a OMS system in place, where you have aggregator OMS system in place, what will happen is initial product master attributes Genesys will sync to OMS, aggregator OMS. Then in aggregator OMS, you can define other parameters and create a generic pool. From there, you can easily segregate which product you want to share to different marketplaces, and you can export that in an Excel file and import to your respective marketplaces. This kind of help OMS catalog system gives to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let us take one more question, that they are having some doubts regarding where can they get a development of their website, and what would be the best logistics solution. If we are having a web store, should we partner with a logistics solution? So can we give an overview for this as a last question?
If I go with my suggestion, recommendation is, please try to use the ready framework available. There are ready framework who already have lot of integration, pre-integrated with many of the logistic players. Take all those. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to build it from the scratch. Try to use the ready framework. Okay.
Thank
great.
you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rohit. Thank you,
Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.